Hello, I'm Riddick Ricks.
And I'm Alice Ricks.
Alice and I were fortunate to be the 2009 Tree Farmers of the Year, and we're in Northampton County, and we have a wildlife preserve we call Whispering Pines Wildlife Reserve. We've owned it since 2006, and it is where most of our focus is on wildlife and forestry management. As a young person, I was very fortunate to be in a family where my dad just absolutely loved forestry. We spent our Sundays, and Alice as well, we spent our Sunday afternoons walking the woods, and we learned forestry. We learned what it was to be a good steward of our land that God has entrusted us to manage.
We have a lot of people that like to come and see our farm and ask us questions about how to get started in good forest practices and good farm practices.
I think the important thing for us that we decided to do earlier on was find a way that we can include people of a lot of diverse interest. Of course, our boys, one is a fisheries biologist, so we got Ben to be in charge of building a pond, and we now have a 3-acre pond that Ben manages and guides us and directs us in our pond management. Our youngest son, Will, is a wildlife biologist, and Will, from his associations, we work with a lot of organizations, from quality deer management to Quail Unlimited, and we're involved in a lot of wildlife aspects to promote good stewardship. We have a lot of different species of wildlife here, and being a naturalist and trying to really be a good steward, you have to recognize that every species is very important.
One thing that I'm interested in and that I help with a great deal is our bluebird population. And we have 122 bluebird boxes on the farm, and we have created a spreadsheet that will help us keep track of the data on our bluebird boxes. We have 3 bluebird surveys a year because bluebirds will nest 3 times in their nesting season from spring till late summer. Our stats seem to go up every year as far as how many nestings that we have, and we're just real fortunate and blessed that this place is a bluebird sanctuary for sure, because we have tons of bluebirds and lots of nests, and we've seen lots of fledglings leave the nest, and so that is something that we're real interested in, but we keep a record of it, and then we in February we kind of do a real estate check. We go and make sure that all the houses are in good shape, and that they're ready for the spring nesting, and we just get a lot of joy out of working on those bluebird nests.
We're also involved in what we call an upland quail habitat. It deals not only with quail advantages, but we recognize that there's certain species such as field borders that we use for transition zones that go from the forest, the open forest, to the cropland. If we have those transition zones, then we use a lot of switchgrass, we use a lot of ragweed, we use a lot of partridge pea in those areas, and our quail and our turkey poults as well can find cover in good nesting areas.
The first time that we ever had a understory burn on the farm, I was like heartbroken. I did not want to see smoke and fire coming from the trees. And Riddick said, you should go out there, it's fascinating. And I said, I wouldn't be caught out there, I don't want to see that. But what I learned from that is after a burn, we have the best wildflowers because all the competition is taken away. And so now I'm like, is this the year we're going to burn? Because nature is so wonderful. Actually, a seed can be in the ground dormant for up to 3,000 years, and still, with the heat and the proper light conditions, still germinate. So after burn is one of my very favorite times to look for wildflowers, because I always find something new.
Several other management programs that we're really interested in is we call it the Federal Lindbergh Legacy. And Will, our wildlife biologist, focused a lot on migratory songbirds when he was in grad school at the University of Georgia. So with his interest, we looked and sought on ways that we could potentiate his interest here at Whispering Pines and our other two sites that we manage. And we learned about the Forest Lindbergh Legacy, which primarily focused with open the canopies in hardwoods. And so we had we enrolled in that program. It involves open forest areas. We call them forest gaps, up to 3 acre areas where things are clear cut, and we get successional forest to come up and different plants that some ground nesting birds may like, and then you get a transitional for other types of migratory birds. So we're happy to stay enrolled and involved in that program, and we do songbird surveys here. We've had extension people from NC State to come and enjoy being able to track the different species. And right now we've tracked over 130 different species of migratory birds here and native songbirds here at the farm. This is a working forest, and we last year we were able to thin our hardwood forest. We thinned about 125 to 150 acres of that forest. We've had 2 thinnings here to thin our loblolly pines, and there we've got another thinning for our older pine forest that were planted in 1981. We want to thin those to generate income and to get our basal area down to about 50 to 60 pine trees per acre, which will help all aspects. It'll help our quail population, help promote our grasses in the forest bed, but also will help Alice and I to pay for
The taxes.
And so important that in a lot of families you have one driving person that that takes care of the forest. So it is important for all family members to be educated and to realize the tremendous asset that we have at our disposal.
See it as an investment, because that's exactly what it is.